Hello. I'm here. Hi. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained today. My brain is a little scattered. My brain is currently in chunks across the room. You might call it scattered. We're gonna play more Outer Wilds DLC. I'm into it. We're into it. I got a little going on in the background today, so I'm a little unfocused, but that'll change as we get further into the stream. Um, usual disclaimer with Outer Wilds. Don't watch the stream or the SPUD. If you have not played this game. Mostly because it's one of the only games I've played where spoilers will actually ruin the experience for you. Like, I'm not like a big spoiler gal. Like, I'm not... Like, I don't get bothered by spoilers that much. Unless it's like something that, robs you of the experience of actually being able to play the game at all. Which is the case here. Because if you have parts of the game spoiled for you, you will be able to finish the game without engaging with any of its content, basically. So, usual Outer Wilds disclaimer. Favorite game of all time here. Please go play this. It's on sale, 10% off right now. You can get a bundle of it with the new DLC. Just give it a shot. Okay. Let's just go. Where's Outer Wilds? Looking for there's O. So I already have my mouse settings and everything set up. Just need to post the stream around, the usual rigmarole. Everyone. So promo. Now we're probably gonna host Mythic again today because they haven't started the DLC yet, and I want to watch them play it. It's probably gonna happen around 2:30. It is currently 9:30ish, 9:45ish, quarter to 10 if you prefer. I think that's most of the areas. Just need to do Twitter. Posts, and I'm gonna do the usual thing where I hide Twitter because I leave a lot of not safe for work stuff. Oops. Let's just go. We're going currently. Don't pay any mind to that. It's a first-person game. If you're more comfortable playing first-person games with mouse and keyboard, you're gonna be more comfortable playing Outer Wilds with a mouse and keyboard, frankly. Oh. Everything else I care about just gone instantly when I hear that music. So we're going to just pick up where we left off, pretty much. As far as I could tell, there seems to be this group of scientists, advanced race, perhaps as advanced, if not more advanced than am I. They built some kind of cloaked thing in this cloaked space station in this system to study the eye of the universe. And all we know so far is that it seems to have driven them insane, to despair, something along those lines. Something horrific and terrifying, of course. We're trying to figure out exactly what happened and not die too much in the process. I'm so far, like, absolutely engrossed in this DLC. I think it's worthy of this game. I did the same thing I did last time. Too impatient. So last time I was exploring the right path. So there's like a fork in the water up there, you see. And I was exploring all the structures on that right side path. That was where I left off. So that's where we're going to head. Oh, the music. Love this. It reminds me of riverboat rides in amusement parks. Get rapids and splashed all around. The physics of this all works so seamlessly. Just like the rest of the game. It's just impressive how they were able to pull this off even at all. So, I promised myself last night I would look at the spooky face again. Like, you know, the thingy up here with the... You know how there's like a slide and I didn't watch the third slide spooky face transformation? I'm gonna do it. Gonna give it a chance. And by a chance, I mean I'm gonna get fucking startled by it, and I'm immediately going to be engrossed in this DLC again because of it. And again, just immediate tension, because this place is just so desolate. I keep using that word desolate, and I think it's a good word to describe this place. Again, because it's like, it's not just that the, like, primary, like, species focus of this DLC is missing. It's the fact that they're missing and this place is dead. Just absolutely and totally dead. Now that I know that I'm less spooked and I've slept on it, though, I'm a little more steeled for this, I think. I think the atmosphere really got under my skin yesterday, and it was actually preventing me from continuing to play. Okay, so let's get startled immediately again and ruin our experience. I think the reason they startle me so bad is because it looks like they're looking at you. This one is super burned out. And then we see the ritual rooms. They take up space, they do the thing. Okay, not scary faces this time. Interesting. That's interesting. So, they left themselves there and seemingly died? Entered a state of sleep? Ascended? The video implies they were still breathing when it happened, so... Like, you see the shoulders rise and fall. What could all those burned out slides have been? It seems like perhaps my initial assessment was wrong. Maybe they're not angry at or trying to stop the eye. Maybe they're trying to prevent this caustic effect that is turning them into these spooky husk monsters that we keep seeing. Like, if you think about what we just saw, you know, that was the only slide that we've seen where they didn't turn into spooky husk monsters again. I called out its signal. They turned into spooky husk monsters. I'm not saying they literally turned into them. I think it's perhaps a representation of their mental state and of the mental state of the culture there. Due to the discovery of the eye. They reached out to understand the eye, saw their own mortality and the mortality of the universe they exist in. And again, became these husk monsters. Perhaps this, like, ritual, this slumber was somehow, intended to prevent these effects, like... So this building I wasn't able to figure out what to do with. Perhaps they put themselves to sleep in order to live, to survive another day. And they're one of those things. That's what the ritual sites surround. They're like these... I'm just calling them sarcophagi as shorthand. I don't think they're actually, like, tombs. Yeah, I'm calling them sarcophaguses, and... I keep seeing empty ones everywhere. The, like, ritual rooms that we're seeing have dudes in them. Sorry, I'm just thinking. The ritual rooms we've been seeing have those dudes in them, except for the one seat. Which might imply that might end up being some kind of enemy or friendly NPC later. It could be the Solanum of this DLC, for lack of a better way to put it. Look at that. Nice. Okay, we figured it out. Yeah, these creatures are startling, frightening almost. Okay, so there's a different slide reel in here. Yield. Yeah. One that we haven't seen yet. Just being in the projector room startles me, because the first time I saw it, the spooky face, it startled me so bad. Like, it happens in like 2 slides, and it's just instant terror, instant fear, just mortifying. The music doesn't help. Some kind of warning or emergency signal? The music degrades and changes with the thing you're listening to. That's really part of it too. The like spook factor of it. God damn. So this structure I don't think I've seen yet. It's new to me. There's this damn artifact again. They like these owl-like beings with alcohol. Wendigo, perhaps? I think I should start calling them Wendigo. It reminds me of like a contemporary, like depiction of a Wendigo, almost. Perhaps that's a little assuming of cultures, though. My knowledge of the Wendigo is more based in like internet legend than it is the actual tradition of the story, so that's fair to myself, I think. But I will try not to call them Wendigo. Call them owls. They're owls. They have they have very owl-like features. You know, short, stout beaks, big eyes. You know, a feathered face with the two rings around the eyes, the mask look kind of. I think owl is a good way to describe them. Ooh. Oh, guess I'm going in. So I've noticed the water here is quite murky, especially compared to Giant Deep's water, which is meant to be green and murkier. So I'm guessing they either are using the murk to hide the bottom just so you don't go scouring the bottom for things that aren't there, or the murk is meant to hide something. That is also a potentiality. Is this thing fully submerged while it's here? Yeah, so what happens to the fire then? If it stays fully submerged. Is the fire... Oh no, it's... This fucking spooky shit. Oh, there goes the dam that startled me. Every damn time. I think it's supposed to be a little bit startling. So we know that they sealed something in this. Through the use of what looked like 3 little, like, torch-like devices that they walked up to activate. My best guess is that these devices have something to do with potentially deactivating them and opening that seal. What we'll find in there is completely unclear. It might be what corrupted them in the first place, which is why it's a little spooky. Well, more than a little, frankly. I love how this has its own, like, musical leitmotif that, like, totally sets a different tone. This area seems to have environmental details indicating it was cordoned off in some way. I got in here earlier, I don't remember how. I think I got in from below. I've just been carrying this with me in case I need it for anything. Yeah, I got in from underneath. I gotta go to the bathroom. I will be back. Okay. So at this point, I now have a couple of ideas and guesses. Preston taught us about the hidden chamber and the bell. I've been calling it a bell just because it looks like a bell. Again, we don't have any official names or anything in this DLC so far. So I have to kind of come up with names as I go. I imagine if you're standing directly in the middle here, it would point directly at the sun. We've seen a couple things that are noteworthy that might imply something about the purpose of the station. I mean, obviously it was to research the eye. We saw the eye call out to them from another location, and then we saw them here. But what if they were using this star system or the eye for something? The only thing I can think of is perhaps this is leading to the entropy that dooms the universe in some way. We've been here before. It's a little spooky, but this is what I'm talking about. There's a room in this particular area. I believe it was this way. There seems to be construction going on outside, so I apologize for any background noise. I thought that was an ambience in the game, but yeah, there's this diagram. It's different. It's different than the last time I saw it. Does it change throughout the loop? Perhaps. This wasn't as full last time, and it was only this was only at the first stage here. Yeah, I think that there's a good argument to be made here that this is what's causing the destruction of our sun. And perhaps more of these are causing the entropy of the universe to increase in some way. There's a window here, but it doesn't seem to point anywhere. This is the hangar. I'm tempted to just hang out here and see if this shows us anything. And this place is just so eerily quiet. Again, apologies for the noise. That's definitely not. This place is quiet in game. Yeah, that is blue, so it would be reasonable to assume that, you know, this is somehow monitoring or interrelated to how the sun is detonating. And if it's causing the sun's detonation, that means we might have an opportunity to stop it. Oh, I see. Okay, we could see the detonation radius of the sun. And we could see that we're exiting the detonation radius of the sun. In that case, I wonder if I grabbed the ash twin core, if I could somehow let this place continue onward. Yeah, as soon as, like, not 30 seconds after it started flashing. So this place escapes the detonation, the supernova. And we know we get traversed back. I'm tempted to take out the ash twin, I'm tempted to take out the ash twin core and then just run here and see what happens. Here specifically. They were monitoring the detonation enough to know. Does this place somehow change if you take the core out, if we see it after the death of the universe? I'm curious. I'm curious to find out. Pulling on that know my leg. Identify and explain. Again, I'm curious if this changes at all after the supernova as we're watching. Very interesting. We know it's escaping the supernova. Again, we see ourselves being pulled back by the memory in the way we do when we escape the supernova blast ourselves, although this effect is different. Yeah, I'm going to do that this week. I'm going to wait until like 5 minutes out, take the Ashton Project core, and I'm going to take it to this place and see what happens if I stay there after the end of the universe. I think we have enough precedent to at least try that. If nothing else, to at least find out if there's a hidden ending related to it. So I say we wait 14 minutes. That gives us a good 6 minutes to, you know, get into the place and get comfy. There's still more to find in the main game as well, I bet. I bet they've added a bunch of stuff. I should maybe take a break from it if I get stuck. So we said we were gonna wait 14 minutes, I think. I wonder if it'll be even possible to enter the stranger at that point. Once the dam breaks, you know, in theory the water should be flooding the entrance area, so we'll see, we'll see. Just going over things in my head as I wait. I'm so engrossed in this. Like, I want to know what happened to the civilization. You know, whether their interest in the eye was, you know, whether the eye caused them to go insane, or perhaps they were, you know, approaching the eye from the wrong angle, viewing it as some kind of hostile threat. And sorry for construction noises. Drill noises. Gotta put my ship somewhere where I can actually use it. It isn't gonna get sucked. Gotta hurry though, because the thing's coming around. Oh, the timing though. Cutting it close. I must know does time go on in that place if I remove the core of the asteroid. Yeah, the effect is different. There may be... again, I think we have enough precedent to assume that something changes. Or at least that it's a hidden ending. It's so weird seeing, like, no my stone tech after all the wood architecture of these owls. Somebody else mentioned in chat there was something new in orbit around the eye of the universe as well. And that nobody knows what it is yet. So that's something to mention. Oh, the stranger is 60 kilometers away right now. Let's clear the sun before we do that. Hope the flight computer is relatively accurate on this acceleration calculation. Trusting it. Door stuck. So the stranger does seal if we don't enter it in the first half of the loop, which is curious. I guess that makes sense, but it's curious. I mean, like, we know it's from the water. But it would mean if I do want to bring the core here, I would have to do it much sooner. Let's reset. Specifically main menu, so we don't have to go get kicked to the main menu anyway, right? So I would have to grab the core and take it with me early on. Oh, that's That's so fucking cool. Did you see that? Catch that? So, like, the quantum moon was there when we woke up, but then when our character blinked, it disappeared. Which means that it's not just based on, you know, like, whether you're looking at it, it's totally based on whether it's rendered. Whether it's, like coded to render. Alright, so the next idea I have... So, we know that the spooky friends, the owls, we're calling them, I found a slide reel in the hidden gorge that it shows an explosion blowing a hole in the side of the strange. So that's what that was. Okay. Interesting. Can I mark that as destination? So once it appears, once we've gotten through its cloaking field, we need to look for a hole. We know there are 2 docking bays, right? There doesn't seem to be anything on this left side. This place seems almost unnaturally dark. Like, does anyone else get the vibe that it's unnaturally dark? It feels like my light doesn't penetrate as far as it usually does, especially the big, powerful ship light. I am not seeing any kind of hole. I checked both sides and now I'm checking along the middle. Perhaps that slide reel gave us something more specific about the location of this rupture that we missed. I do remember it showing like a diagram. Jesus fucking Christ. Jesus fucking Christ. Poor my poor heart. I'm sorry, what the fuck just flew past the planet? Oh, look at that. It was probably the probe. Ow, ow. Just got a very close to the planet trajectory this time. Yeah, I'm gonna go view the slide again. The other big theory I have to try is, you know, we saw them bring the things into the room. We saw them stand in those spots. And then they all went to sleep. Now, you could, you know, interpret that as, you know, they went to sleep because of the artifacts and the weird green fire. Or you could determine that as you're supposed to go to sleep to trigger something. And you do have the option to doze off of those fires. So I'm tempted. I'm tempted to bring fire with me, the artifact with me, over to the one without a person in it, the one with a missing slot, and just doze off for a whole loop and see if anything happens. That's a test thing to try. Okay, before I go here, there's a building here I haven't explored yet. Mostly because it's a little hard to see if you aren't in the thing. It's like hidden back here. Oh, okay. This is just the building we start from if we come in the other docking bay. Music is based on how fast you're going, which is fun. Music like stopped there. That lighting right there is such a good indication of stuff like that. We still don't have the ability to translate this either. Ah, shit, fuck. That might be a looper setting platform mistake. I'm just trying to see if there's any other way out. Oh, we're on solid ground at least. Luckily, I am decent at platform. We're over here to grab our lantern. Then we're gonna go grab the slide. See if it tells us anything useful. So again, we have these artifacts and we know that they somehow went to sleep with them. Either they went to sleep, you know, like intentionally, like they fell asleep while holding these and that's what caused the thing to happen. Or, you know, doing the thing caused them to fall asleep or die in some way. Very unclear at the moment. Look at me out here gaming. Okay, yeah, that gives me a much better idea of where the hole is. And look at it one more time. So if we view it as a set of spokes on a wheel, which is how it's kind of built out. You know, one of the hangers at the bottom If you're viewing the hangar from the bottom, then it's the top left spoke. On presumably only one side, so we'll have to do some exploring. Figure out more of that. But, yeah. I wonder if these are the creatures that created this universe. Hmm. Get another one of these sarcophagi. Keep noticing those recurring everywhere. Wait a second. Ooh, I might have just figured something out. So that building, like, there's an elevator control down there that are like, oh, it's broken, I can't use it. And there's an elevator up here, and I was like, oh yeah, it's a shortcut. No, there are other rooms along this building. I saw a window. Oh no, it's just a window. There are other floors here, but I don't know if there's anything of note there. I mean, I'll go up on the other one, and now that the hole's unobstructed, I might as well check to see if there's anything on those broken floor landings, but... Seems like I'm getting a little esoteric here, but covering all your bases when you're playing Outer Wilds is really important. A lot of people struggle with the main ending because they don't cover all their bases by checking every teleporter. Oh ho! This is new. I was right. So what have we got here? We've got a couple things. This device is new. And it looks like it might be related to that artifact we found. There are a bunch of reels here. Any of them intact enough for me to take? We've already kind of figured that they tried to burn all the reels. Whatever knowledge they discovered either here or about the eye or whatever, they tried to destroy it. That already has some disturbing implications in and of itself. Can't believe this is hidden here. So we don't know what this machine is yet. But I have a feeling it might have to do with the thing. The artifact that we have. Maybe the lantern? It just opened. His eyes open. This slide was hidden from us. Disturbing implications. Disturbing indeed. I really don't want to watch this. You know it's good horror when you really don't want to put the thing in the thing. I had to stand on the fucking bridge. Oh well, the projection room's still up there, which is why I wanted to wait for it to pass. Just to make sure that would still be there. I don't like the symbol on this one. I think this might be the conclusion to the saga of reels we found about the ritual. Because there are 3 towers, all with the dudes in a ring. The owls in a ring. And this has 3 symbols on it, including the 4th symbol we've missing. This has 3 symbols in a circle that are moving in a circle. 4th one. Hey, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna play it nice and slow so that it doesn't startle me too bad. Let the music wash over me and etc. Somebody took a tablet. So somebody has this tablet. They take it with them. They're holding an artifact, so they're holding the artifact key. It looks like the bridge outside of here. And they're able to walk across it. They put the artifact in the bridge and it sucks all the light out. They put the artifact in the torch, which is what we've been assuming, that they're related to that. Candles. There's 2 candles. Puts it in the torch. And it dims all the lights. All the lights dim. And then he takes the tablet back with him. It looks like somebody gives him the tablet specifically. Trying to figure out where this is. This location looks new. I don't think I've been here yet. There are 2 sets of candles on either side of the bridge he's able to walk. Either with the tablet or the artifact. He looks at the torch shrine. We'll call them torch shrines. Puts the artifact inside. All the color dims. Then we get this shot of him standing in the doorway and seeing his home planet. I'm starting to figure out what's going on here. We're going to get an entire other planet, potentially. So, like, I think if I dim the lights here, like truly push this, this station into darkness, that we will somehow find their planet, and I will be able to leave here and go visit their planet. Now, that's a tall order. I'm not going to assume that is exactly what is going to happen. Because there's a very good chance that it just doesn't. Because, you know, this is already a massive, complicated area to explore that I've only scratched the surface of. And this DLC is only about 8 hours long here. That tablet was interesting, though. There's the artifact again with the fire lit in it. So we know that somehow we need to light the artifact. Perhaps you might call it a type of lantern, which is a recurring motif we've been seeing. And they somehow used it to cross something. Something they couldn't see. They crossed a gap that was invisible. Let me go grab the artifact that's in here and see if I can cross the broken bridge that way. Remember, right, you can get to the broken bridge across here. Just through this extremely spooky cave. Trees to mark a safe route. It seems like they were terrified or angered in some way of this desire of the universe that we currently still know very little about. Music, though. Like, we walk into this room and it plays music. There's at least some kind of emotional significance to seeing this sight of the shattered eye symbol on the wall. Seems like they worshipped the eye at one point, perhaps even wrote art and stories and science about it. This is the room. This is the room. The shutter here is in the corner. The tablet is somewhere here. Yeah, and there's this puzzle we don't know yet. Don't currently have any inkling of how to solve that. And I believe this just opens the door on the other side of the viewing room, the projector room. Which is good, because I wanted to look at this again, actually. That time. I really want to view those room details, try and figure out where all this takes place. It's a room with what looks like almost a pagoda or a... the Jewish term for it escapes me. It's like a little... Not used for ritual for Yom Kippur. Can't remember. Little ritual spot you make. If he turns to the side here, there are candles that lead across. He walks across, unhindered by gravity, it would seem. Puts the thingy in the torch. Takes away the light, and then we immediately cut here. This looks like the room we were just in. That entranceway. The room darkens and he leaves. The room re-brightens again. What are these ghastly, like, depictions of their species? Why are there 3 of them specifically? Why are they surrounding this symbol in the collection of symbols we've seen so far? There's so many unanswered questions. But yeah, I think that this room here, this temple of sorts, with the smashed eye, is very significant. I feel like solving this puzzle might give us access to that tablet we saw. And then allow us to change the time? Light location of this station in some way. Yeah, even the way the boards are laid out kind of lines up here. I think this is the room he was in. I think this is what we were seeing specifically. Maybe not, though, because we could see into the sky and there's clearly an arch here. Maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe I'm not supposed to glean any kind of interesting locational data from there. Either way, it's loop end and I want to check the log to see if it gives me any tips, insights of any kind. Via wording. It usually doesn't, but it's happened to me once before. I didn't realize there was a hole, which is something I gotta explore. Big explorer. I found that this looked to top left if the hanger's on the bottom. On one of the sides, there is a hole in one of the spokes at the end of the spoke. So that's probably our next destination. So for some reason we have a way to conceal this flame. We have a way to focus the beam of light it creates. Because that's a lens in there. This is a lantern of some kind. We know that now. It's a lantern, you put a green flame in it, you could focus the flame, and you could conceal the flame. The fact you could conceal the flame definitely kind of indicates to me that we're going to be facing some kind of enemy. Perhaps the owls themselves here. The missing one from the ritual site, perhaps. And that we will be hiding from them a lot. In a traditional, like, light stealth horror style, perhaps. Which I'm down for. I think a like light stealth horror sequence is totally what this particular expansion has been missing so far. I feel like they're doing so much atmospheric buildup to it too. Like, you know, you see these things, you see the burned out husk version of them with the sunken eyes and the, you know, like hollowed out mouth and stuff. Once again, I'm just so staggeringly engrossed by this. The hole we found might be a whole new area, or it might be a side area. We're not sure yet. There's the implication so far that we might actually be using this station to somehow go to their home planet, the one with the rings. That the station itself is some kind of ship, perhaps. I mean, we do know that it's flying away from the sun as it explodes and outside of its radius. What we got? Secret mural. The reel I found inside in the burning room were a container marked with a glowing symbol handed to a shadowy figure. The lights are extinguished and the figure carries the container into a secret passage behind a mural of a large tree. room full of burned slide reels piled next to a strange device. I found a hidden slide reel that shows a container marked with a glowing symbol being handed to a shadowy figure. The lights are extinguished, and the figure carries the container into a secret passage behind a mural of a large tree. Okay, so we know that there are murals. We know that the mural of the planet was something that was hidden when we you know, like reconfigured the light there. I'm wondering if this might be the same thing. I want to have a peeky at the hole first, though. Because that's a more concrete and definitive lead that I don't want to forget sooner rather than later. Alright, so if we face it like this, then the hole should be... Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm just gonna go for it, shit be damned. There's another slide reel in here. We've got an artifact. What looks like perhaps machinery for using the artifact. I presume up here will be a viewing room for the slide reel that's here. Oh, we're here. Okay. And now, in fact, know where we are. Look. So I can use those as sort of a viewing window? Of sort. I can assume what I'm supposed to do here. Or at least, like, get an inkling. But I'm gonna watch the reel that's here. Where is this exactly? Okay, we are here. Okay, so we're not too far from the viewing room. The symbols on this one are strange. Some of these reels are burned as well. Did see that already? Phone call. My name is James from the Debt Relief Program. Do you have a moment to speak? I'm not in any debt, so probably not. Instant hang up. Incredible. Scam callers, man. Okay. Oh, I'm dumb. I don't have a lantern. So they're taking a lantern, they go inside. Fire puts them to sleep, they wake up again. Ready for it, hit me with the scare. Okay, so this was clearly some kind of experiment related to what we're talking about here, what we're doing. They brought the lantern into the room. They had someone go to sleep near the green fire holding a lantern, and they woke up again. Pretty simple. Pretty much what you expect. And then they had somebody do the same with the lantern device, the artifact. That's what the game has been calling it. And then, right after they fall asleep, everything is expunged. Something happens when you fall asleep next to those fires holding that thing. Something happens, and they don't want anyone to know, either from their own species or ours. What? And then they did it to their entire race. Or at least, presumably, everyone on this station. So this seems to be one of the lantern devices. Wasn't expecting that to happen. Does the other one have a different, like, outcome? If I stand in front of it, there's the same image. So we go to sleep in front of this. Standard lantern, right? Standard lantern guy goes to sleep in front of the fire. And he wakes up again. The fizzle can just be assumed to be sleep then. Time passing. This guy goes to sleep. Fizzle, we see the light. The light fills the thing. More fizzle. So I was right. We do go to sleep with the lantern next to the thing in order to trigger something. We know that it fills the thing, like we know that, but we're not sure what filling the thing, what might else trigger. Which is the scary fucking shit part. So now we know, we have a method forward. We can potentially gather more information this way. There are 3 of those buildings, each with their own fire, plus the fire that we saw in the spooky bell with the sealed vault. Okay. I'm gonna go to the vault first. It's unimportant. Yeah, that scam call was funny and mean. Like, you know, there's a lot of fucking like mean shit to scam people with, but that the greatest like cultural and systemic trauma of our time. Oh man, that's just fucked up. That's fucked up. Also, the debt collection agency. Come on now. Like, I get they're scamming and they're not going to tell you what debt collection agency, but... Ooh, I'm spooked, man. I'm spookered out. I'm spooked out. The thing that it's asking me to do is so fucked. Like, yeah, go into the room full of, like, fucked up dead monsters. Dead gods of a bygone age. Stand next to their terrifying green fire with an artifact that you don't fully understand, and go to sleep. Just fuck that. Fuck that. That's so fucked up. Hey man, we gotta start by grabbing an artifact, of course. Quiet. Once we have that green fire, something fucked up is gonna happen. I know it. Why? Because this has been building horror and atmosphere and tension for 4.5 hours of gameplay so far, and there's no way they're not going to pay it off in some way. You know? I doubt it's gonna be like a traditional scare because it's Outer Wilds, and that's not really what the game's about, but... You know, there is a reduced scares mode, so... take with that a grain of salt. There's also a not small implication that these things may have somehow in some way killed them. their souls or their bodies, we're not sure. Like, the ritual sites are full of dead ones, like, that's an unavoidable fact. I'm calling them ritual sites. 3 towers, you know what I mean. Again, this doesn't give us any concrete names or anything, so I get to name everything myself, which is half fun. I still can't believe it's been over 2 years since this game released and I'm sitting here playing a new expansion for it. And then not only is it, like, good, but it's worthy of this magical game that has since become my favorite game of all time. I must know what they sealed in that vault, even if the answer is horrifying. What did they want to expand? You know it's good Outer Wilds content when it's making you ask a shit ton of freaking questions. Here's nothing. Oh wait, 2 minutes. The vault is open. Okay, I lied, I don't want to know what's in the vault. Okay, we don't have our flashlight here, there's a radial light. We can focus it. Fuck everything about this. Oh! I can extinguish and light these using it. Don't like this one bit. Not the tiniest little fucking bit. I wonder if this place out of time, alternate dimension, the past. I wonder if it's what I think it is. Are we in the space and time between pieces? That would explain why it's so dark. Oh, we don't even have a spacesuit out here. We can't even boost. Interesting that I can drop it and leave it as a light. Shit. We know that room, we know where that is. I want to watch it once more. Just to be sure I'm getting an idea. We're gonna have to do some kind of candlelit ritual here, which is fucking awesome. So this guy points us to the tower where we've got the extra hidden like area. We walk up to the mural. He points us to the mural. He takes the artifact. He walks away. When he walks away with the artifact, the lights go out, and we can enter the room. Oh my god, so much is happening at once. No wait, I want to watch again. I don't think there's any way to skip it. So these antlered creatures aren't like owls. I can't tell if they're like put it in some way or if that's just what they look like. Could this be giving us an insight into a portal to the dark world, as I'm currently calling it, because I don't have a better descriptor yet? Oh my god, it jumped. It queued my jump, and then it, dumb. I mean, I guess we're watching this again. Anyway, I was right. We do the sleep to do it. I just needed a little more to go on, I guess, to really commit to the idea, because it was such a spooky thing to do. I'm not quite sure what this is telling me. Do these artifacts power those lights in some way? Don't like what I see standing over there waiting for me. Don't like that sound either. Is there like a nope option? Can I leave? Still not quite sure what these mean. One, two, and three, maybe. 'Cause there's 1, 2, and 3 of those things. The bells wake you up. The bells wake you up from the dreaming world. It's a dreaming world. State changed. What if this is time limited like the loop? Or if it's different somehow? Okay, well, at least I didn't get that startled by it. So we do have that inkling of info to go on. Dying in the waking world only makes me wake up. Okay, that's a very interesting difference that I just noticed. What happens if I totally let the light go out? So like that light goes away, we put out the candles. The candles are in some way relevant to mechanics here. Because we saw that reel where the guy crossed the invisible bridge in the chasm by walking through 2 candles. If that's the case, and we can use the candles to control things, we might be able to set them up as traps or lockable doors, sort of thing. So, like, I'm going in with this with the mindset that we need to think about, like, if a monster shows up, what's the strategy? What's the plan? So these guys were experimenting with some kind of dreaming reality. And we don't yet know what it has to do with the eye. I assume falling in the water is death, like it is in the waking world as well. Without your suit on, I mean. I kind of don't want to, though, just in case there's a spook associated with it. Especially since there was supposed to be a sea monster in the original game for Giant Steep that got cut. So this seems to be sort of a nexus of sorts. We know that we can unlock this vault of a kind. Whatever fucking spooky ass green glowy shit is going on inside of it. We know we can unlock the vault by extinguishing the flames of the torch shrine. Which I think what we decided to call it. So these, like, light posts will wake us up if we get close to them. So I think this is where we come once we've extinguished all of them. So we have 3 potential portals into the Dark World that we know of right now, which probably correspond to each of the 3 little thingies. Again, I want to check my ship log. This is like so much. Like, this is like an entire another game's worth of content in this DLC. It is no wonder that it took them over 2 years to put this out. They're offering it for such little money. Like, please, let us pay you more for this. This is so good. Wasn't this DLC $15? Like, Jesus. I get that it's meant to be about half the length of the main game, but, like, the quality and the density of the content so far has been staggering. More so than the base game, for sure. But I guess that's the thing, is fitting an 8-hour puzzle into this place. So what we visited is some kind of nexus of a sort. Damaged laboratory. A laboratory with 3 test chambers. The second chamber is badly damaged and can be entered through a hole breach in the side of the stranger. saw a vision-like recording of someone picking up an artifact and going to sleep in front of a green fire. The rest of the vision was distorted and difficult to make out, but a flame seemed to appear inside the earth. Yep. Subterranean lake. I discovered a vast subterranean lake beneath the submerged structure. A sealed vault is resting on the shore of the lake. There are 3 interfaces, each marked with one of the 3 symbols from the vault. I rotated the mechanism in front of the vault, causing it to strain against the chains holding it shut. A moment later, rays of green light spilled out of the vault. It gave me a vision of climbing a spiral staircase to a room near the top of the tower. One of the stranger's inhabitants pointed at a mural of the tower beneath a nighttime sky, then picked up an artifact and left the room. A time later, the lamps next to the mural went dark, revealing a secret passage. Okay, so we're going to that secret passage next. That's current goal. Because I'm too spooked to explore the other zones yet. Literally multiple secret passages inside of a single tower. Like, holy fuck. What were these guys trying to hide? Why were they so secretive? These are clearly massive religious structures built inside of their own place. Their own habitat. So what were they trying to hide him from whom? From the eye, perhaps? What do they have to do with the eye? We know the eye drove them to something. Death or corruption or self-destruction of a kind. But that's all we really know. That's like it. Why did I stop here? I'm not stopping here. What am I doing? Again, like, I know the eye is something they understand and have discovered. But what does that mean? Why is that relevant to this plot about the vault? What is inside that vault? Why was it able to give me a vision? There are just, it's like every corner I turn, I get infinitely more answers and infinitely more questions. It's perfect. I'm so sucked right now. I'm sucked right up to the fucking gills here. So, like, we know we can enter this from down here. So this is most certainly the room we saw. The one that's up here? Yeah. We saw them take the artifact and walk away. But there's no artifact here. One of the lights is out. I these owls, again, we're calling them owls, enter some kind of waking sleep to escape the death of the universe? I'm trying to draw parallels between the two seeming, like storylines here. That was definitely what they did. They walked away with the artifact, and that caused the lights to go out in some way. Again, it seems like we could start to form a picture here. Clearly, these guys were an advanced, you know, culturally, religiously, scientifically advanced race, you know, that did spacefaring, at least as advanced as the Nomai. Perhaps hidden from the world, judging by their cloaking tech. Isolationists of the time. I've never noticed that the panels partially go out when that happens. Which is interesting, because that means they're not windows, they're screens. We could see that in some way the eye angered them, rejected them, showed them a future they did not want and could not comprehend when they chased its signal to this star system. And having worshipped it for some time, you know, enough to use the symbol. The same one that the Nomai used, by the way, which is in and of itself an intrigue. Although I think this is technically the radiological symbol it calls out, what it decodes to. It's implied that in the vessel, I think. I saw that yesterday. But again, at some point the eye rejected them or angered them in some way. Perhaps they wanted to be the architects of the next universe and could not for some reason, and this made them angry. Clearly the eye at least showed them the decay and cycle of death of their civilization from that one slide we saw, and between that and the other one, you know, we could see them go from these, you know, inquisitive, kind of piercing-gazed creatures to this sunken-eyed, sunken-mouthed monster of a type. Which I have a feeling is some kind of hazard we're going to encounter. Because, like, the fires there are lit in all of their hands, right? The fires in all of their hands are lit, which means that they are probably still dreaming. Because our fire goes out the moment we stop dreaming. I've got so many Lovecraft vibes. It's like, it's very reminiscent of Lovecraft's whole dream cycle stuff. And, you know, perhaps more derivative of other, like, you know, dream reality stuff. Particularly SCP stuff. I get a huge SCP vibe from this whole DLC. It's just fascinating. I'm sorry I haven't gone anywhere. I'm just like thinking out loud right now, trying to kind of get a handle on what's going on and figure out how I'm meant to take the lanterns out of that room and turn out the light. I wonder if the flood washes away the lower room here. That might take the artifacts away and cause the light to go out. I guess we'll find out soon. We have been talking a while. The dam's probably set to break relatively soon. Let's try taking this out of the room. Again, one of the lights is out and it's not smashed. In any case, this dreaming world seems to have so enthralled or in some ways, you know, it seems to have so enthralled or in some ways given them escape from this reality that they sat there dying. Their bodies wasted away and they continued on in this dream world. And we're not sure if they continued on in the dream world yet. There's also this, which seems to imply some kind of electricity. These look like electrical currents of some kind. That's the one in the first area, that's the current tower. That's the one in the wall we know about. And that's the bell. They're linked in a circle. Perhaps this is indicating what order I'm supposed to be in. To turn out the lights, so to speak. Anyway, I want to see if the flood will chunk out the bottom of this thing. Yeah, it's breaking any second now. Trying to just get to a good vantage point. Because if so, if it washes them away, then their artifacts go away and it opens up that thing potentially. There it is. Because we do know the tower leans a bit when they, so it could be the bottom being knocked out. The bottom didn't get knocked out, but I think it is at least worth re-examining, right? Now let's go check on the below room. Let's see if the fire's gone out or anything. Water coming through. That's still so spooky. Hey y'all. So no, all the fires still seem to be lit. Perhaps that was what their faces looked like under what looked like hoods that they were wearing. Although the slides we found seem to imply their faces transformed, which is a lot scarier, honestly. Anyway, I am gonna go back up to the top to see if it's changed at all. Nope, still just the one light out. Again, they, like, took an artifact and walked away. Which kind of implies that taking the artifact and walking away is what turns out the lights, but... I don't know, I feel like perhaps I should come back here with an artifact. Go grab one and then loop around. Oh, the music is a break that I needed. And the tension. You know there's an artifact in the building over here, which is why I'm going here first. And I just went to the wrong place. No big deal. There's another building full of artifacts down here. I haven't even explored these buildings too thoroughly yet on like another loop. I also haven't really explored this area post-collapse of the area. This building is almost entirely underwater now. Does it manage to hold its water? Oh no, this is underwater now. The fire is out, and so are their lanterns, which means if there are, you know, mirrored facsimiles of these creatures in the dreaming world, like there are with us, that they die when that dam breaks. And that also means that there won't be obstacles, if that's a thing we haven't figured out yet. Oh hey, look at that, the ghost matter's all gone. That's double confirmation now that the ghost matter washing away clears, that the ghost matter can wash away via water. And it's also sad, because if the Nomai had had even a little bit more forewarning, they probably could have constructed some underwater shelters. Alright, let's grab a thingy and be on the way. I know that music. We're a little too late, I guess. The fact that there's one missing also implies to me that we might get to meet one of these creatures, you know, pre-horrifying dream corruption or whatever. Yeah, you can see the RGB matrix if you get close to the screens. I love games that do that, by the way. That lets you see the like RGB matrix if you get close to. If you get close to whatever like digital screens they have. I think it's called an RGB matrix. The like collection of red, green, and blue, like, for lack of a better word, LEDs or lights or whatever. I'm just waiting it out for nostalgia's sake, right? Oh man, it's just wild theorizing for now, right? We don't know anything concrete for a while yet. So what I thought there was that we were initially that the doing that thing had transported us somewhere else, or somewhere else in time. But clearly, what we're doing is entering some kind of dream, some sleeping world that these guys figured out how to access. I want to go and talk to some of the other friendos around here. Eventually. So artifact, we gotta take an artifact to that room. I should have done that in the first place, instead of just assuming there was an artifact there. Could also be one in a different one of the towers that we don't know how to access yet. But to me, it very specifically seems like it's that one, because that room looks exactly alike. Down to where the reel was placed, you know? And of course, the music here has been, you know, as stellar as the base games. Like, memorable track after memorable track after memorable track after, you know, complex, layered horror tracks that play over the fucking slideshows that get progressively more fucked up the more slides you progress in sequence. So what we saw him do was he told the guy to stay, picked up the artifact, and walked outside the room. Then all of the lights went out. I think there's more to it that we don't know yet. Either that or it's a different room altogether. Well, we have an artifact. Might as well take it downstairs and go inside the dreaming zone into this area. Or maybe we just go through the one in the first area first and go through them in order. This might be faster. I don't think it's faster, but it might be. I'm also lazy. Ugh. Again, just like, you know, no other game gets my gears turning like this game. I'm curious how they're going to tie it to the overall Lawrence story, because so far this has been, you know, other than the appearance of the Eye of the Universe and it being a plot device, this has been mostly separated from the main story. I wonder if the stranger is technically always here if you have to lock onto it to see it. Or at least see it from the sun's angle. Because, you know, in theory, somebody could be hurtling through the local solar system and then accidentally hit it. Which is a little shit. Although it is a pretty small area. Not really any bigger than the other planets. Alright, so we're gonna go check out the other Dark Worlds in order. We don't really need the raft, we can just keep going this way. That's the thing, is like right here. And there's like a whole language we don't know that's you know, like pickpocketing some context in the situation. When is it here? This one. Hey guys, good night. It's totally right, by the way. Their planet is in the night sky out here. Their fires are still lit. Well, the world didn't end. There was no spooky monster. And no, that is not disappointment in my voice. That is relief. Let me tell you. I feel a little more confident about the other locations now. So now I want to confirm something. That seems like it's happening very early. The, like, flicker? But the dam is still barely untouched. Perhaps it just happens periodically and it isn't a measure of time like I thought it was. I mean, the dam is visible from pretty much anywhere, and it's a pretty good measure of time, elapsed time. Just realized I don't have an artifact. Forgot to bring one here to go to sleep again with this one. I'm sure I could find one nearby. Ow. I feel like we've learned so much in just like the last little bit we've been playing. Artifact question mark? Like an artifact. This looks like it was burned. This is perhaps somewhere to visit in the Dark World. Hello, any artifact gamers? Anybody out here with artifacts? I'm gonna have to loop back around for an artifact, aren't I? Pain in the butt. I don't quite know how these puzzles work yet, either. Was there one in here? Hello. Oh? There's a very small image that I'm struggling to see. There we go. Black Sun, Frog Eye, Fire, Frog Eye, Ball Fire. Black Sun, Frog Eye, Fire, Frog Eye, Fire. Frog Eye, Fire, Frog Eye, Fire. Black Sun, Frog Eye, Fire, Frog Eye. Maybe just regular sun. Sun. Frog Eye. Fire. Frog Eye. Fire. Okay. This is something freaky. I gotta go to the bathroom again, though. Be right back. Alright, back. There's the band. Alright, so current running theory. Now these guys are the denizens of a previous universe. The Eye called out to them. They discovered the Eye, and they created this universe when their species, in this ship purpose-built for the voyage, went into it. They still exist on the other side of this universe. We died in the Big Bang, but they had this big advanced ship. How perhaps they could have survived. That's still really cool. When they discovered that they, by entering the Eye, had destroyed their own universe and their civilization, it drove them very mad, and they turned to religious fervor. Using their technology and understanding of their own physiology to create a dreaming reality of their previous life, and they've all escaped to that reality now to live there. That's my current running theory, current order of events. So that looks like the thing we could see at the top of that one tower. You can see the vault, image of the vault here. No idea how the vault plays into that, though. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, just found a massive claw hole. My theory, my crackpot theory. My gaming theory, you might say. Yeah, I was right. We see their own planet in the sky. I'm a little disappointed by their planet. It just looks like part of the skybox. Like, they could have 3D modeled it to fit with the aesthetic of the rest of the game, and I think it would look better. Perhaps planets were of a different general size in their universe, though. That's what it's meant to depict by being 2D. Doesn't parallax much, you know, when you move around. Either way, it doesn't look like we're going to the planet like I originally theorized. Or at least, we're not going to land on its surface in our ship like I originally theorized. We might still, like, find a way to see the surface of it, like, momentarily, perhaps, in a small map. It seems like most of the DLC, like I originally thought, is confined to this particular little tidbit of zone. Anyway, we need to figure out what this room is telling us. So we've got this spiky device that's plugged into the electricity around the area. The thing to control it, clearly, is broken. This might control the rotation of the entire station, actually. And I'm giving it kind of a thought. So there's this thing, which we've been seeing around, you know, again and again. We have this diagram. It seems some kind of claw coming. I think this is the entire station. Is it implying there's a part of the station we can visit that is somehow connected to it? This little laser module looking thing. If so, it would be on the side opposite the one of this. It would be on the side opposite the solar shield / solar panel. And straight centered out from there. And we could see little lights or beams coming off of it. And then the vault is flashing red. Perhaps we're supposed to take whatever's in the vault to that machine, that third area. Second area? Just theorizing on potentialities here. I'm sure the guide in the I'm sure the thing will tell us in more certain terms. Well, I'm stuck here. Oh well. So we know that the torches are there and can be extinguished. And at least the first one was relatively close to the thing and unguarded by any kind of enemy. Which is, you know, not entirely unexpected. I want to go back to the main zone and see if removing one of the chains either lets me get more information from the crack, or just generally making sure that the facsimiles of the torch, of the thingies there are matching up. By checking if one of them is extinguished or not. If we're mincing words there. Basically, I'm going to see if the torch shrines are put out when you put out the ones in the other areas. Presumably, there's one for each area, and when you... Reactor damaged. Well, I'm just... Going ship is for losers. We're a reset loop gaming house here. That was such a short one. The stranger, the stranger, the stranger. It could be that they're strangers to this universe. I don't doubt that this extremely advanced civilization, if they entered the eye with this space station, you know, I don't doubt that they could have, you know, figured out a little something, something. So I did want to see if there was a thing there. Since we potentially saw the indication of there being a thing, you know, at the end here. Yeah, this does look like a... That does look like a depiction of this whole thing. If so, though, I feel like we would have passed it or otherwise seen it when we came here the first time. Try to line up centered here, then go backwards. It's probably the easiest way to try and find it. There definitely doesn't seem to be anything out here. So whatever that was implying, I didn't quite get it. I will check the log in a moment once I land. I love how you could see the imprint of the sun there. It's still occluding things. So I want to see if disabling the things can open the vault. Of course, that was our original intention here. My frame rate's a little stinky. Try a quick re-alt tab. Seems to have stabilized it a little. I might restart the game in a bit in case there's some memory leaking going on. So first we need artifacts. Because all I did was turn out the light last time. Because I was more than a little understandably spooked. Hey guys, how you doing? Great, going to sleep. I don't like this place. So, presuming there isn't like a, you know, horrifying monster cult out to get us. These candles actually make a pretty great method of marking where you've been by lighting up areas. That is so fucking scary. And again, there's an entire language we haven't unlocked yet. I wonder if opening the vault is what gets us access to their language. And then that reveals a bunch of new, like, data and things to try that we can engage in. This time I remembered to bring the thingy with me as I'm going to the bell. Okay, my frame rate is dropping a little. I'll probably restart in a bit. Restart the game, that is. My stream isn't consuming much, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. Oh yeah, I should run a quick speed test to see if I can upgrade to 60 FPS. Because I was having frame dropping issues the other day because my upload speed wasn't very good.